Hey guys, it's Will Fleming from Force Fitness and Performance here in Bloomington, Indiana. Here is a concept that I've been playing with, and a lot of internet debate about how you should squat. And should you squat wide stance? Should you squat low bar? Should you squat high bar? Should you squat knees out? Should you squat knees forward? Nobody's saying knees in, but you get the point. There's a lot of debate about how to squat, and the idea that I want to kind of throw towards you guys is that squatting isn't a lift. Squatting is a movement, and we know that squatting is a foundational movement, and we want to talk about the squat as a movement and not as a lift. So if we have the squat and we have the squat as a movement, there's a different way to do it, and there's a way that we have to focus in on our technique and our positions that can allow us to create a lifelong movement, as opposed to just a lift that has an end goal of the most weight possible. Okay, so the reason I came at this kind of conclusion is squat as a movement is I'm an Olympic lifter, and in the Olympic lifts in particular, you need to create a squat that can carry over to everything. I don't want to put the work in to make my back squat go up and then not see my snatch go up as well. I don't want to put the work in to make my front squat go up and not see my clean and jerk go up. So what I want to come up with is an idea of a movement, and so what we're thinking about is a squat with a vertical torso, right? Squat with a vertical torso is going to minimize the shear stress on my spine, so this is a safer movement. In particular, when I'm doing a back squat, I'm going to have less shear stress on my back, and I'm going to be able to continue to progress in weight and train a movement that can globally move across different lifts. Okay, so first let's think about our goblet squat as a good model. And so in terms of a goblet squat, and I want to think about a vertical torso, so I'm going to sit straight down into this movement right here. Okay, so now I have a long, tall spine. I have my elbows inside, and my knee position is such that I'm slightly externally rotated, but mostly I'm just trying to track my knees over my toes, right? So here's my goblet squat. And if I were to goblet squat like this, but then take a bar and back squat like that, I have no carryover, right? So I teach a goblet squat and I teach a back squat totally different. Doesn't make any sense. We're going to have a totally different movement. But instead, if we talk about squatting and not lifts, talk about squatting the movement and not lifts, we're going to have a goblet squat that looks like this, right? Long spine, knees over the toes and slightly forward, feet flat. I'm going to have a front squat that looks like this. I'm going to have a back squat that looks like this, and I'm going to have an overhead squat that looks like that. Very, very little change in the position of my body. Almost everything is just about the implement. So this is a method for squatting as a movement. No longer do we have to talk about low bar or high bar. Just place the bar on there and maintain everything else. No longer do I have to talk about where do my knees go. The knees go where the goblet squat goes, or the front squat goes, or the back squat goes. So that's squatting as a global movement and not as a lift, and I think it's an important concept for everybody to get a handle on.